All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Los Angeles Rams rookie defender Josiah Stewart. Stewart, guys, is getting better and better on the edge, becoming another key piece in this already stacked Rams defense. We'll break down everything he did so well in LA's recent victory, as always, in the comment section below. Give us any feedback you might have. If you're a fan of these film reviews and want to support us so we can do more of them, please consider becoming a member of our channel. It would be a big help to us. There's a link in the description box below that will take you right there. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's open up with the pass rush, and there's Josiah Stewart, number 10 right there on the left side of your screen. It's going to be standard pass protection here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to have the play side, which is these three guys on this play. They're all going to take the gap to their right. So right tackle's going to take that gap, right guard's going to take this gap with a heavy hand inside, and the center's going to take this gap. And on the back side, we're going to get man-on-man here, and man-on-man there, right? Standard stuff. We're going to get standard pass rush here for the Los Angeles Rams. We're going to get pass rush here, edge rush here, pass rush inside here, and of course Josiah Stewart coming off the edge doing his part right there. And this is an example of number 10 not winning outright, right? 77 for Jacksonville is a pretty good pass protector. You're not going to win every single time. But I love what number 10 does here in this one-on-one situation is that he doesn't stop. He keeps working, and it ends up getting a sack on the quarterback. Big play for the Rams defense. Let's check it out. There's a snap. It's got some time. Starting to run out. Avoids verse. And there's Stewart to finish him. Team defense, guys. This is why the Rams are so good, because there are plays, for example, when number 8 wins outright and Josiah Stewart finishes it up. There are plays when maybe Kobe Turner wins outright and Jared Verse cleans it up. There are plays when Fisk wins outright and maybe Kobe Turner cleans it up, right? There are plays where maybe Stewart wins outright and Young cleans it up. This is just team defense to the extreme, and this is why the Rams are so good. I mean, they're just across the board, they're so talented. And right here, one-on-one from Stewart, if you break it down, he tries to go a little speed to power initially, but he's a little hesitant. It's one of these weird turf fields. If you watch these edge rushers, they feel like they're a little, kind of all over the place. Don't look nearly as fast. I think the grass may be a little taller or something. Listen, it's a London game. Funky things happen. But Josiah Stewart right here kind of loses his footing a little bit and says, listen, I'm just going to bull rush and try and get some pressure. But he keeps working, keeps his motor going, gets a sack. I want my defensive ends to play with reckless, abandon, full motor, full speed. Look, you play against good offensive linemen like 77, who is a good lineman, and good pass protecting teams in general, you're not going to win right off the rip, very rarely, right? You're going to get late pressures. It's going to come down to hustle and effort. And Josiah Stewart showing that for the Rams here, showed that for the Rams all season, and especially in this win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not all about winning with the first move, right? If you win quickly, hey, that's great. We'll certainly take it 100 times out of 100. But if you don't, what do? Do you keep working? Do you keep fighting? Stewart does, and he gets a sack. Nice play. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Stewart right there at the top of your screen. Again, not great initial pressure from anybody except Jared Verse, and even he gets ran by the quarterback. But when it's not great right here initially, these three guys, Verse does okay, forces the quarterback off the spot. Who's there to clean up? Teammates, team defense. That's what it's all about, right? You have one guy. All it takes is one guy doing okay and everyone else playing with decent pad level, decent motor, high-speed aggression, and you win. And that's what the Rams have showed. We know when they are at their peak and at their best, they can overwhelm you. We saw this, for example, against the playoffs last year against the Minnesota Vikings, where they totally overwhelmed them. But even when they're not at their best, even when they're on like a weird turf grass field situation like we see here against a pretty good pass-blocking team, their motor, their tenacity, like we see with Stewart, is enough to lead to a massive victory. Great job by Stewart and the Rams. All right, sticking with the pass rush, there's Josiah Stewart right there on the left side of your screen. You can see they got a tight end H-back over here, and that keeps number 10 really wide. When you're this wide, this tackle, again, he's got a lot of ground to cover to pass protect you one-on-one. I want you to use speed to power. I want you to threaten him with speed and then go at him with power. And then what you see with Stewart at the end of here, he actually gets a rip move through to get pressure on the quarterback. He ends up becoming part of the pile on the sack. Of course, his teammates get there first. This is like total pocket collapse. Again, team defense, great pass rush from the Rams. Let's check it out. There's a snap. They're off and running. Pressure on the quarterback. Total collapse. Nice job. Now listen, 52 gets credit for the sack, but there's three guys on top of him, right? And to be totally fair, 57 gets the initial pressure right there. Trevor Lawrence feels them and then has to eat it. So this is, again, team defense. Great job. Let's look at Stewart right here. Again, threatened with speed, now power. Right into his chest and his helmet. Great job. Now rip through and finish. Good job. Winning the rep. Winning one-on-one. Listen, when you're this wide because of this H-back tight end, you're not going to get there anywhere remotely close in time to be the initial pressure. You're just not, right? Unless everyone else is doing very, very poorly and the quarterback has forever in the pocket. If you're starting this far away, just, again, shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. 52, 57, number 6, they're just closer. Again, straighter line. Number 10, straight line, a lot farther away. But Stewart right there does a great job. I don't like him burying his head there a little too much. Keep your head up, technically. But he does a good job with his punch. Knocks the arms away. Look how he does right there with his right arm. See how he knocks away 77's arm right there? Great job. And then replaces with a rip move. Great technique. Great finish. Great play. All right, for the wide copy, you can see Stewart right there at the top of the screen. Again, he's so wide, he's not going to get there initially, but he keeps working the entire time, beats a tackle, and is part of the sack. Great red zone sack right there. You can see pretty simple stuff up front. A little bit of a game inside. You got the defensive tackle to the top of the screen. He goes to the inside move. This other defensive tackle, number 52, loops around. He ends up getting the sack. All credit to him. But this was a team defense, right? You've got the right side caving in. You've got the left side caving in. Everything is caving in around the quarterback. Everyone's in their lanes. Everyone's playing good fundamental football. Everyone with good technique. Stewart, especially at the top of your screen. Good power move right there. Transitions to the rip. Ends up being part of the pile. Great job across the board. All right, how about a little run defense? And there's Stewart right there on the right side of your screen. So we're going to get a little motion right here pre-snap going across the formation to get some flow from the linebackers and safeties to follow the motion. But it's just going to be a zone read, right? It's going to be an inside run this way. Quarterback turning and reading Stewart, the in-man on the line of scrimmage. If Stewart stays flat, it is going to be a give read inside. If he crashes down inside, Lawrence would theoretically pull it and try and run it himself. Stewart does a great job at how he plays it both ways. So he's right here. He actually jumps inside, but he keeps everything parallel to the line of scrimmage, makes it look like a give read. So when the quarterback hands it off, he just crashes down and makes a tackle for his part. Just a really good rep, well coached, well executed. Let's check it out. There's a motion. There's a snap. There's the give. Stewart's there to make the tackle. Really nice play. You can see Trevor Lawrence, he's looking at Stewart right there, but Stewart, you see how his knees, hips, helmet, it's hard to see because 37's in the way. See how everything's parallel? Trevor Lawrence looking right at him says, I don't like that. And for good reason. I think if he keeps this, there's a decent chance Stewart blows him up in the backfield. And of course, if Lawrence bubbles it out here, they've got the corner number 1 to clean up the quarterback as well. But Stewart, because he jumps down inside that much and stays so parallel, he makes the quarterback actually think he's farther away than he really is. And when it is a give, he crashes down inside and makes a tackle. This is so good, guys. This is breaking offense's rules. This is breaking, everything you would expect from zone read football. If you can play it like this, the zone read is a dead play. And I understand this was a short yardage play, so it's not, an every down 1st and 10 situation. But I tell you what, every team looks at a Rams defense as this aggressive. They say, okay, we got to read some of these guys because we can't block them. But if you got a guy like Stewart that can take away the pull read from the quarterback by how he plays and can also make the tackle on the give, there's no solution the offense has. All right, for the wide copy, you can see Stewart right there at the bottom of your screen. Watch him jump inside. See how he's right there. See how he's so square to the line of scrimmage? This feels 100% like a give read, but he actually could have probably pulled it, but because he's so worried at how Stewart's played, again, they look at the shoulders. They teach quarterbacks, look at the shoulders. Shoulders perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. They're turned. Pull it. If they're square, like you see here, give it. He's square, so you give it, but he's so far inside that he's able to make the play. Just so good option football. I tell you what, a lot of these defensive ends and linebackers that played option ball in terms of option defense in college, they're so good translating that to the NFL. The option game, the old Wildcat, zone read, Lamar Jackson stuff, it used to take the NFL by storm, but guys like Stewart are negating the effects with plays like this. All right, how about a hustle effort play? And there's Stewart right there on the left side of your screen. And again, he's lined up really wide. He's an edge rusher, but they got this tight end and H-back, and he's really far outside the tackle, so Stewart's really wide outside of him. Again, you can see where the quarterback is. It's going to take forever to get to the quarterback, especially when they get a really dedicated chip from the H-back. So the H-back's going to give a really hard chip on Lawrence before he releases, and the tackle's got him right there. So it's basically a double team, and he's this far away. No chance to get there, theoretically. But if you play with a good motor and play with a good effort, and if you're Josiah Stewart and you have all those great intangible things, you fight through the chip block, you beat the tackle, and end up getting a late hit on the quarterback. Not a dirty late hit, but a good late hit to make sure it's an incomplete pass and a win for the defense. Great job by number 10. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Time to throw. Time goes away. Stewart's there to deliver the hit. Incomplete pass. Effort. Motor. That's what you need. Look at Stewart initially. Dedicated chip. Avoids him. Tackle there. Goes inside. Pressure on the quarterback. Clean hit right there. Again, hits him right in the chest. Good football, guys. Doesn't hit him low. Right there. Doesn't go for his knees. Doesn't hit him in the helmet or anything like that. Glancing below right there, right below the shoulder pad. Clean football. Smart play. High effort play. Plays with a level of motor and speed that very few people do. And I'm not picking on guys like Jared Verse, who's obviously a great player, and Kobe Turner, but look at the difference. between 91 and 8, right? They're blocked up, and I get it, but 10 just never stops. That speaks to his special motor. Like, he's a guy that plays, and part of it is because he is a backup, right? That's part of being a backup. Part of your job is to play with this motor, and Stewart's embracing it. He did this at Michigan, by the way. Big reason why the Wolverines loved him, just because he had this unlimited tenacity, just reserves of energy that he relied on, like we see here. Avoids the chip, avoids the offensive lineman, big hit on the quarterback. Great job by Stewart. All right, for the wide copy, you see Stewart right there at the top of your screen. Avoids a chip, works his way inside. Good pressure on the quarterback. Good hit. One of the things I really love is that after he avoids the chip, he's kind of a little no man's land here. He checks to see if Trevor Lawrence is going to bail. See how he stops right there? He's trying to see, okay, is 16 going to escape? And the moment he sees that 16 is going to stay in the pocket and his buddy's going to outside contain, then he rushes and gets the hit on the quarterback like we see right there. So he plays the game at a speed that's very high motor, high velocity, but he's not over his skis. He's still reading the keys. He's mentally aware, mentally astute, looking at what's going on in front of him and recognizing, reacting to it. Good job by Stewart. All right, quick break in the film review. Look, I was taught to break down film by my college coaches at the Division I level. All the players are. It's just a fact of playing football at that level. And I want to take this opportunity to give you guys, the average fan, more opportunities to get that insider knowledge of how the game is taught at that highest level of college football. I created a checklist, a step-by-step guide for you guys, 100% free. That's based on how I was taught to break down film by my coaches, and then I use today to create these film reviews. There's a link in the description box below that'll take you right to it. I really appreciate it if you guys decide to get it. Again, 100% free, just trying to share information to you guys, stuff that was taught to me by my coaches. But without further ado, let's get back into the film. All right, let's go with an under-the-radar play from Josiah Stewart, and there he is right there on the left side of your screen. Now, look, this isn't a play that Stewart's made. We've showcased him getting pressures, hits, sacks, all that kind of stuff, tackles at the line of scrimmage. Here he's actually, of course, lined up as an edge rusher, but he's going to drop into coverage. And this is a situation right here where the Rams can really confuse quarterbacks because you've got guys like Trevor Lawrence, who's a veteran. He's played a lot of football at this point in his career. He's trying to read the defense, trying to read the coverage. But when you drop guys into zone coverage right here, defensive ends that are normally rushers, it forces the quarterback to think for a second. It's like, okay, what coverage is it? Because I got linebackers coming, but I got defensive ends dropping in coverage. Is it man? Is it cover 2, cover 4? What the heck is going on in front of me? And because it takes them a beat to recognize it, it ends up helping the Rams force an incomplete pass. Let's check it out. There's a snap, linebacker blitz, Stewart replaces him, throws it downfield, and out of bounds, incomplete. Now, this is a good throw. This is a cover 2 hole shot, but you'll notice right there, receiver, he's been turning and waiting for the football for a long time. The ball's late by only about half a second. Now, why is the ball late for half a second? Because right here, Trevor Lawrence doesn't know what coverage it is. He sees a blitzing linebacker. Only now is he like, okay, I now know what coverage, I can hit my 2-shot throw, and it's too late. This is why you have guys like 0, like 10, that are athletes that can drop into coverage to confuse the opposition because you're just trying to make the quarterback, if you can't get to him and generate pressure, you're trying to confuse his read, which they do right here. It's an underrated part of the game, and you can only do it if you have guys like Stewart that are good enough athletes to get out in space. Because if you have defensive ends that can't play in space and you try and run this coverage, what quarterbacks will do is they'll just like, oh, I'll hit the check down and I'll make you guys look silly. Instead, because they have athletes, the Rams do, like number 0, like number 10, they force incomplete passes just like this. All right, for the wide copy, you get a really good look at it right here. Focus to the bottom of your screen. Right here, ball's got to be gone. But he doesn't know what coverage it is. He's at the top of your drop. Ball definitely has to be gone now. This is the absolute latest right here. But he just now is starting to realize, okay, I think I know what coverage it is. And now he throws it down the field. It's too late. He's going to be out of bounds. It's a good throw, but he's late. Why is he late? Because initially, he doesn't know what coverage it is. What coverage is it right now? No idea. What is it right now? No idea. Okay, the picture's become clear, but now it's too late. You throw it, it's an incomplete pass. You force the quarterback uncomfortable with pass rush, hitting him, of course, but you force him to be uncomfortable by mixing up what you do. Sometimes it's dropping defensive ends in coverage, like we see here from Stewart. Great strategy, and the compounding effect of having great athletes. All right, I want to talk about this play because I think it's important. So there's Josiah Stewart right there on the right side of your screen, and he's going to be one-on-one on number 77, who is a really good player. And Stewart's just going to do a standard outside pass rush, nothing special at all. And guess what, guys? Oh, the little spoiler, he doesn't win. 77 kind of blocks him up and locks him down. But even though it's a loss for Stewart, the way he loses and the way he plays through it, I really like and appreciate it. He fights through every inch. When you play that kind of style, you'll get holding penalties and things like that. But he also maintains his gap and edge responsibilities, even though he didn't win. It's that element of his game that goes underappreciated in my book. Let's check it out. Pre-snap motion. Across the formation. There's a snap. Has time. Throws it. Incomplete pass. Good deflection. Let's look at Stewart, though, on the right side of your screen. Again, one-on-one on 77. 77 has inside help. Stewart tries to work through, but it's good protection, right? 77 hits it with his hands, works through, hand replacement. He's trying to rip through, but you'll notice something the entire time. Josiah Stewart never gives up and says, oh, I'm getting beat. Let me surrender outside contain. No, he's always attacking the outside, right? He doesn't, stop running his feet. He keeps working the entire time. Almost right there, draws the holding penalty. Again, it's a loss for Stewart. It's not a winning play. It's a winning play for 77, a losing play for Josiah Stewart. But even his losing plays, he plays with high motor, high effort, and he still does his job, does maintain his gap responsibility. Because right here, Trevor Lawrence, he can't bail to his right because Stewart's right there. So he has to settle in the pocket to his left and force into tight coverage, incomplete pass. It's one of those things where even if you lose, is it still a good play or good enough for your defense? And that's what we see here from Stewart. Again, we know he can win on one-on-one pass rush situations. Some guys, when they win, it looks good, but when they lose, it looks bad. Josiah Stewart, even when he loses, he's in a decent position to help out his team. All right, for the wide copy, you can see Stewart right there at the bottom of your screen. There's the motion. And there's the snap. Gets into his pass rush. Totally locked down, blocked up, but he still has outside contain, right? He's got two guys on him. Trevor Lawrence can't escape to that side, right? He can only step up and has to force it into coverage, and it's broken up. Again, the little things, right? It's even when you lose, did you do your job? Did you maintain outside contain? What do they say about defensive ends? You cannot give up outside contain. It's maintaining responsibility. Right here, things don't look good. Does he try and go back inside and lose his responsibility? Does he just drift away and try and circle all the way around to make a play? No. Keeps working, keeps doing his job. Team player, 100% well coached. A key part of why this Rams defense is so good. All right, let's end on a run defense and an effort play from Stewart, and there he is on the right side of your screen. You can see the Jacksonville Jaguars have brought in another offensive tackle. They got 3 offensive linemen to the right, and they're actually going to bring a guy in motion right pre-snap. He's going to insert this direction to lead in that hole, and it's going to be an inside dive play right here with the potential to bounce it. And what the Jacksonville Jaguars just run is just standard kind of gap concepts. Work in this direction, work in this direction, work in this direction, work in this direction, and blocking out right here. And Stewart does a really good job. Again, he's the outside contained player, so he's got to hold his gap and secure the edge, but he fights through it, displays a great effort. He was totally held, should have been called, it wasn't, but it's that level of effort and hustle, diving, surrendering his body. It will draw penalties, it'll create plays. I love his approach, I love his mentality. Let's check it out. There's the motion, there's a snap, inside run, cuts back around. Decent little play. Little face mask maybe right there. Yeah, that's a tough break. But you talk about effort. Look at Josiah Stewart, right? He's in a position, securing the outside, shoulders, knees, hips, everything square to the line of scrimmage. Beats the block right there. Good job, good position. Lays out while he's getting held, surrendering his entire body. Listen, there's a lot of defensive ends that kind of just, now this is on the backside, but this is what I'm kind of talking about. They're just like, I'll just hang out, right? Won't lay out. And I'm not blaming Zero. I think that's Zero Young right there because it's backside, right? But a lot of times that kind of play happens on the play side where defensive ends in the situation, they just kind of hang out right here and say, okay, I'm on the outside. I did my job. I did enough. In Stewart's mind, listen, if I don't make the tackle, if I don't force the fumble, it's not enough. If I don't hit the quarterback, it's not enough. And I think that's a huge part of why he's becoming a great player. Obviously, he's not a starter. He's not getting the majority of reps, far from it. But I look at his impact on this defense and the way he plays with a high motor, his physical nature, high effort. It's a huge part of what they like to do. We know he's a good pass rusher. We know he's a versatile guy, can drop into coverage. But it's his physicality and his effort that I think separates him from a lot of rookies. He's got a really bright future in front of him, and I'm excited to see what he does as part of this Rams defense going forward.